Hello YouTube and welcome back to Fire Gaming Project. So in today's video, I'm actually going to do a review of Yoimiya. And you're probably wondering why, obviously, because she's not up for a rerun or anything like that, and her banner obviously is over now in 2.2, because her banner was way back in 2.0. The reason why is actually because of because of the Polar Star banner that is currently active for 2.2. Many people have already done their reviews, other streamers I'm talking about, have already done their reviews of this. I also did a pre-release analysis of this, and I pretty much covered it all already in my opinion. But today I wanted to do it not with Child, but with the twist is that it's going to be a discussion with Yoimiya. So just so we're clear, I do not have the Polar Star, and I chose not to poll for it, even after I did the pre-release analysis and I considered it. Because in my more recent videos, if you have been following me, you'll know that I kept saying it in almost in every video, or somewhere in the video where I would say, I'm not sure yet, I'm not sure yet. And yes, now that 2.2 is live as of yesterday, and as the banners were live, I chose not to. So, but I did do a polling video for Child's Constellation, so do check that out. I do mention that again here. I do mention the weapon banner there as well. So check that out. That was my video yesterday. So before we get to it, please subscribe, like the video, hit the notification bell, and leave me comments and questions, okay? And obviously, since the big thing here is the Polar Star, so let's start with her weapon build. So let's do the setup. And in celebration and honor of Child being rerun for the second time and third banner overall for him, we're gonna go and kill him. Yes, we're gonna kill him in this domain afterward, but don't worry. So this will not just be an idle screen video. But let's talk about my Yoimiya build, okay, and team composition. So just so we're clear, for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to leave Zhongli here for the shielding. I love teaming up Yoimiya with Raiden Shogun, even though in the storyline they're at odds with each other. Spoiler. But regardless, I love teaming them up together. And then I'm just throwing Albedo here because there's a reason. Because I think he's going to be rerun in 2.3. But that's a different story. And there are videos about that already on my channel. Albedo review as well as 2.3 rerun predictions. Do check that out. I also mentioned him in my 2.3 new characters Arataki Ito and Goro first early initial thoughts video. After that, those were teased recently the other day as well. So do check that out. I already did the Albedo review, and that was for technically for 2.2, but technically because he's not in 2.2, then it's still likely that he'll be rerun for 2.3. That aside, we're not going to focus on that. Back to Yoimiya. So, she is at level 90. I really love this character. She is one of my favorite characters because I think that she's easy to use. Now that's a pro and a con. Some people think that it's really boring using her because all you're doing is just hitting the same button over and over and over. I don't mind. I'm a hack and slash kind of guy. I don't really care. So I like her. Now, that's just me, okay? It may be an unpopular opinion, and I know that she wasn't that popular either, but people did pull for her, and people are on her side at least, but then I know that she wasn't that popular, and her multipliers are not that high. That is just the intro. Regardless, I think she's the bullet hell queen, currently, and she is definitely a pyro machine gun, so yeah. Okay, weapon-wise, I gave her the R5 Rust. This weapon, as you may have followed me, was previously on my child, who I gave actually Yoimiya's best weapon, Thundering Pulse 2, instead. And for this reason, and I talk about this and I alluded to it in my pre-analysis video of Polar Star, because I have the Thundering Pulse on child already, I felt that it was kind of not necessary to try to just outclass his own weapon, or outclass the same weapon, basically with a better weapon, because although I could then free up the Thundering Pulse and give it back to Yoimiya, Yoimiya is doing just fine with the R5 Rust. And for those of you wondering, for those of you who did not get the Thundering Pulse, and I talked about this too in my video that's actually quite popular, my Polar Star pre-analysis video. That's actually my most popular video on my channel, so thank you guys so much for the support. Yes, so on that video I was very detailed. I compared the Polar Star with the Thundering Pulse and with the Skyward Harp, and I did mention the R5 Rust as well in there. So do check that video out, please. Yes, but in summary, because of that reason, and because of my burnout video, my community burnout video, I talked about this too. I myself personally, and have mentioned this in other videos, that I'm feeling the burnout as well. We have had a lot of content drop in 2.0, 2.1. 2.2 is basically the end of that because this is the final island for Inazuma for now. We don't know if there's anything more happening. We don't know if we're going to eventually get the DLC. I think it's a DLC at least. I don't know. No leaks here, but I think it's going to be a DLC for the Watatsumi Island Vortex, right? Remember there's a seal there? I don't know if that's going to lead to another place under the sea, like, you know, like an Atlantis kind of situation? I don't know, right? So right now we don't know, and I know that MiHoYo, and I follow their news quite often. I know that back in the I can't find the patch notes, but it was somewhere where they released officially or teased that they said something about like I think this is around 1.6. I think they said that the vast ocean is not just an ocean. Something like that. Like not word for word, but something like that, you know? So I just have this feeling that there's something under the sea, literally, you know, or there's something that's gonna be that's currently under the sea that might rise. You know, remember 1.6, those islands rose from the sea. Remember that. Anyway, so back to Yoimiya. Sorry, I'm getting distracted because I'm just on all these topics because I've been around, right? Okay, so Yoimiya, I'm fine with her with the R5 Rust because this is 80% normal attack damage. That's all she does basically. That's the majority of her attack. She does not do charge attacks, so that does not matter that there's a discount there. She does her E skill does not activating the E skill if you're near an enemy and it burns them, it may be considered an attack, but overall her E skill does not attack. Therefore, it does not count towards anything, just an FYI. And then her alt, people don't like her alt because it's weak and it's useless. I would have to agree, it's mediocre, but it is extra damage here and there. Okay, so weapon aside, basically those are your only choices, in my opinion. Rust, you can also consider Blackcliff Warbow, that's okay too, and I do love the Blackcliff weapons overall. So that's fine, because keeping in mind, her Thundering Pulse is a crit damage substat, and this is just a cheaper version of that. Although the passive will require you to kill enemies, but that's okay, because she can definitely destroy them. Amos's bow is not good for her because it's basically focused on charged attacks. And then after a normal charge attack is fired, then you can get an increase of damage. It's okay if you have nothing better, but it's not the best for her. Okay, she is not necessarily an elemental mastery type of player or a energy recharge player, so I would just skip all those. So we're not going to talk about them. Okay. And then again, back to this. So then if you don't have the Thundering Pulse and you don't have the Skyward Harp, but you're willing to risk the scam of the weapon banner and pull for the Polar Star, and hopefully you do get it, I just want to forewarn you right now, the Polar Star does not work well on Yoimiya. Because it's designed for child, because you will not get max stacks for Yoimiya. And in my pre-release analysis video, I talk about it. I also answer people's questions in there as well, in the comment section. And I am correct now, because now other streamers who had purchased the Polar Star have tested it out and have confirmed Yoimiya cannot get full stacks on the Polar Star, because her E skill does not count as an attack unless you're near an enemy when you activate it and you burn them. I don't know if that even counts. And then also to take a moment of your time, of your DPS window, to then take away from doing her normal attack blitz, and you just go and do like a charge attack. It's kind of a taking, like, it takes away time from her rotation. Okay, so again, you can only get a maximum of 3 stacks if you're willing to go to get a charge attack for her at the expense of maybe lower attack DPS time overall, or you can only get a maximum of 2 stacks on the Polar Star. That's why I would not recommend the Polar Star for her. And also for that same note, because the Polar Star, just to clarify, the reason why I didn't pull it is because if it's the only weapon that's good for a child, basically, I think that some people tested it and might be okay on Venti, might be okay like I don't know, like other characters. I didn't really check for other characters because I didn't think that it would be useful for any other characters. They said it was garbage for Ganyu, Polar Star I'm talking about. And Aloy is weak overall, so you wouldn't use it on her either, and it doesn't work well with her kit. I think that they tested on all the bow users, but basically, yeah, it's mostly that Polar Star is really just a child weapon, so that's why I skipped it. I tend to prefer not to go for the weapons that are only exclusive for one character. Hopefully that they are universal, hence the Thundering Pulse is now on child, not on Yoimiya. Okay. Enough about that. Okay, let's just quickly go through this. So the best set for Yoimiya is the Shimenawa's Reminiscence. This set was made for her. Make sure you get a 4-piece set. There is nothing better than this for her at this time of publishing. So I'll just quickly go through my setup. Just to quickly go through, you can obviously slow it down or pause as needed. I gave her the Pyro bonus. I gave her a crit rate because she obviously doesn't have it because I gave her the Rust and she doesn't have crit damage either. Okay, oh, and I should quickly show you her stats. So they're not the greatest. I want to make that clear, because it's just based on the fact that I didn't give her the Thundering Pulse, so her crit damage is low, and I gave her her crit rate just to make her go over 50%, right? Her energy recharge is not an issue, and then Pyro damage is not the best, but it's something, you know? So, like, I just, like, again, she's not, like, the best. She's C0, and she's doing fine at C0. If she ever comes on a rerun, I will not need to pull for her unless there's a 4-star on there that I want to go for. Her C1 basically is not really anything extra. Her C1 is related to her alt, which is pointless. It's just an extra 4 seconds. I don't think anyone cares. So yeah, I would not pull for any of those. Yeah, like C2 could be something, but again, it's not required. I would skip all of her constellations. Talent-wise, my girl, Yoimiya here, is 9, 9, and 8. Again, her ult is not necessary. Her E doesn't actually do damage. Again, just so we're clear. It increases the amount of blazing arrow damage, but blazing arrows is actually controlled by her normal attack. Okay, because the blazing arrow is the infusion into the pyro aspect of her normal attack, but her normal attack is where all the multipliers are here. So if you were to level up her skills, you should focus on the E and the normal attack. And if you were to crown her, which I am not going to crown her, but I considered it, I would crown, if I was to, I would crown her normal attack, not her E. Okay, I mean, you could argue that the E could be because it's like, you know, the infusion is higher, but no, because the majority of her damage comes from this. So that's that. Okay, so anyway, without any further ado, let's just go right into it. Oops, sorry, I pressed the matching button by accident. Did it actually match? I hope it didn't. Okay, so let's just do this, and then at the end I'll quickly show the teammates' you know, their damage. So yeah, she's just awesome because like she just attacks fast, obviously, and you know, on point. You can see the numbers. Obviously nothing's happening right now, but like yeah, I'm just gonna refresh the shield. Just gonna do this just so that we can get stacks for her, because when you waste her ult and for Shimanawa set, right? You know, when you remove the what is that? Some energy, then you get a bonus or whatever. That's just how the Shimanawa set works in a nutshell. Okay. Okay, refresh. And the reason why I love pairing her with Raiden is because of the extra proccing from the electro damage that you know, Raiden's E offers, you know, and then there's occasionally there's overload. As you can see, it's not every single hit. Okay. Oops, I have to refresh. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was talking. Oops. Okay. Well, I flashed him with Albedo by accident at the end. That's okay. I've already killed this child for this run, so I don't. There's nothing more to pull here. Actually, I don't think you can anyway. Yeah, you can. So it's fine. It doesn't matter. So that's that. I'm going to quickly show the other characters in this team. The Albedo is nothing there, really, so I won't even bother with showing him. It was just there. So yeah, like again, my Zhongli didn't really do anything. It was just to offer shielding, as I showed. I accidentally, like I said, I swiped at him with Albedo by accident. I swapped, right, you know? So yeah, we're not going to focus too much on these other characters, what they have, you know? So yeah, but yes, of course, my Raiden Shogun is C3, and as you've seen in my polling videos, and yes, her Engulfing Lightning is R2. And she's all, I'm leaving her that little sliver of experience because I'm trying to get her companionship up. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. If you guys liked it, please like the video, hit the notification bell, leave me some comments and questions, and I'll definitely see you guys in the next one. I'm going to post another video right after this. I'm going to do Eula afterward. So here we go. So I hope to see you there. Thank you. And do check out my other videos for Albedo, and talking about the 2.3 rerun characters, and talking about my Arataki, Ito, and Goro discussion that's ongoing of what you think is going to happen with those banners in 2.3. I really want to know your opinion, so please let me know.